Okay.
Let's go.
Excellent.
What's
So,
happening?
baseball uniforms. For my good, I picked the Oakland Athletics, a team one Adam Rossi is particularly fond of.
Go A's. Swinging A's.
Yeah. A few things stand out to me. First of all, baseball caps. If there's one thing that I really, really like in baseball caps, it is having the bill being a different color from the rest of the cap and like having that complementary color thing going on, which you see here in the A's caps.
Definitely.
With the yellow bill and the green like hat part.
Right.
I love that look. My favorite pirate hat of all time is the one with the red bill and the thing. Like that's probably a controversial opinion, particularly among Pirates fans, but dude, I love it. I really like the color combination that the A's have. It's unique in the MLB for sure. It kind of washes over you all of the red and blue just looking at the MLB teams in like a block, but the A's stand out. I put some pictures in here with the socks.
Yes.
They're not stirrup socks.
Thank you. Yes.
But they're really, really cool. They've got this yellow stripe pattern at the top.
Definitely.
They've got the A on the side of the socks. I love in general when the players wear their socks in that fashion, like out rather than under the pants, you know?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Looks really good. But yeah, speaking of the A though, I love that logo. Blends super well with the script of the rest of the Athletics.
Yep.
And then the roads, also the Oakland, I like the script of that. The trim of the yellow looks good. And I picked these uniforms so in, I believe it was 2014, from 2014 onward, they started wearing caps where they have a yellow outline around the white A's on their cap. Even the road ones that don't have the yellow bills. Rather than just being the white on the green, which I think looks slightly better. I like just the white. I like it even better with this. The sleeve logo, the little elephant.
Oh yeah. The white elf.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, the green belt and the yellow belt in that one photo too. I love that too. I don't know, just the whole thing. I'm a big fan of. Yeah.
Swinging A's, baby. Thank you, my fine friend.
On to my bad uniforms. So, I'm sticking in the AL, and these are the Seattle Mariners.
I didn't know these existed.
So this is a thing that the MLB has done the past 3 seasons. This is the Players Weekend.
Oh, this is rough.
And so this is from 2018. This is the 2018 version of the Mariners. Nice. Yeah. And so I guess I will mention a few things about this, which is on the surface, all of these look kind of super ugly, except I like them.
They're.
I am very partial to the baseball look of the different colored sleeves. I mean, if you know me personally, you know that I wear a number of like quote unquote baseball tees that have that like two-tone thing, and there are uniforms of the past that have different colored sleeves that are like intentional, and I think I think they look really good. All of the hats for these Players Weekend things have the different colored bill, which again, as I mentioned, love it. The problem with the Mariners in particular is the colors scheme that they chose was like too close to
not quite contrasting
itself. Yeah, where it doesn't.
I didn't even know
contrast.
they had different colored bills and hat tops until you pointed that out. It's like, oh yeah, they are different colors. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And
even the sleeves and
the writing and the sleeves and the like teal of the jersey, all of it is kind of just like this weird blur.
Yep.
And they also used clear like white outline on it that doesn't really help. Like it makes, for some reason, right, like you think the Mariners across the chest in like 2 very similar colors would be hard to read. And you think, oh, okay, putting trim on that would make it a little easier to read.
Right.
I feel like it does the opposite. It really makes it even harder to read because now they're like all the like little lines that your brain is trying to figure out while seeing like these colors that don't make sense.
Right.
I don't know. And then the back, like the numbers almost look a little silvery.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's just like a problem with the lighting and like that photo, or if they really have that like metallic kind of sheen to them. One thing they did with all of the uniforms for this was, instead of putting the player's last name on the back of the jersey, they put the nicknames on the back.
So annoying.
Which is, it's stupid. But whatever. I don't like it, but
I don't like it.
The 2019 season players' weekend uniforms were also terrible, and all of them were exemplary of this thing that I'm talking about, because 50% of the teams wore all white uniforms and 50% of the teams wore all black.
Ooh.
And like, by all white and all black, I mean it. Like, the wording and everything on the uniforms was monochrome.
Was there any outline at all? Or was it like purposeful? Like, you can't.
There was barely an outline. Like, there was some highlight, but it was it was very similar to the Kansas jerseys that you talked about
Gotcha.
a little while ago.
Yep. Yeah, it's ugly's a good word. Although I do like this guy's glove.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a pretty rocking glove there. It reminds me of Pedro Martinez back in the day with his red glove for the Red Sox, blue glove for the Dodgers. That's kind of cool.
I remember David Freese. I believe it was David Freese. His nickname on the back of his jersey was Dave Human, because he had a friend who had a dog. His name was Dave, and wow, fun. But just like put your last name. It's so dumb. I don't know. So there you go.
Well, Players Weekend, I forgot about this. Yeah, some of these actually look like super good.
Yeah.
Like the Mets, I love that. The Twins, I'm a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mariners doesn't work out.
Yeah.
This is like the one sport or one league in which I am so happy that I think my clearly favorite team wears my clearly favorite jerseys.
Hey,
that is the Oakland Athletics. Let's go. It
Let's go.
Okay, I agree with you. They have the best current uniforms in the league, and that goes for all their uniforms. So their home whites, their road grays. Then they have this green alternate.
Yep.
They have a gold alternate. And then they have a Kelly green alternate that just debuted, I think, last year.
Yes.
That's a script Oakland on the front, which they won in the playoff game this last year.
Mm-hmm. I'm not as big of a fan of the Kelly green alternate.
Oh, yeah.
But still, across the board, these are fantastic uniforms. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of it, and it's like super popular among Oakland fans. Like, they love
it. It is, yes.
It's a throwback to an earlier.
Yes, I give it points for that too.
Right.
Like, anything that the fans love because of it's like a classic throwback thing.
Right.
I have a soft spot for.
So I did, however, focus just on this specific combination because baseball. I feel like baseball is the original football in the sense, and maybe it's still more robust than football in the sense that you can have umpteen combinations. This green jersey that debuted in 2014, I believe, replaced the one. They used to have a green jersey that had the script Athletics in gold.
Yes.
And they replaced it with this. They had a pre-existing gold jersey, which they still have, and this is basically just the green version of that.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite one of the bunch. Really like the piping, like the outline of the buttons and around the sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
Like the A's logo. I love the fact that it's white and outlined in gold.
Yep.
I feel like if it were just gold, it would be a little too much for the eyes.
Yep.
Which was what they had back in the day. So these jerseys kind of echo jerseys from back in the day from many different eras in Oakland history. But I really like this take on it. Yeah, I think it just works in a lot of ways. For all the reasons you mentioned, I agree. I think it looks best with white pants. So it shows all worn at home with white pants. I give a slight nod over the gray pants. Really,
I agree.
Had to choose this picture because the socks. You hit the nail on the head there. Love the socks. I kind of want to say that now all their batting helmets are just that. So regardless of what caps they wear, it's their batting helmets. However, I wanted to include this picture that they're wearing the cap that's the gold bill and the green crown or whatever you call it.
Yes.
Because with these jerseys that debuted in 2014, and I will say even back in 2014 they had this like video like woohoo new jerseys. What they didn't release a video for, and it seems that they didn't make such a big brouhaha about, was their road caps, which you pointed out, that has the gold outline in the white logo. Not as big of a fan of those caps. What they replaced was the road cap that had the gold A, the gold logo, and the green bill and the green back. And so they decided basically just to make the logo white instead of gold, make it an outline. Yeah. I think it works perfectly on these jerseys. I think it doesn't work as well in the caps because the logo is so much smaller. It just, I don't know, to me it kind of looks you can't even tell what's really going on behind the A. It's like this little like shiny look, like almost like glowing A, which is okay. but I much prefer, I think, the gold A for their road caps. However, any road cap, they've had a few different iterations through the years, are second to this one. And this is definitely the best cap out of the bunch. So anyway, this is my favorite Oakland Athletics uniform combination right here. Beautiful, great. So recently, I learned that Babe Ruth played for the Boston Braves for a while. It's like, I didn't realize this. I knew he played for the Red Sox and the Yankees, of course. And then I mentioned this to Dad. He's like, Baby Ruth. Baby Ruth, the great Bambino.
Sultan of Swat, the Titan of Terror, the Colossus of Clout, the Colossus of Clout.
Yeah, so I said, like, Dad, I didn't know that Babe Ruth played for the Boston Braves. Like, right at the end of his career. So I looked this up, and he plays for the Boston Braves for one season. Not even a full season. It's the 1935 season. It's only like the first. I think his last game was in May. He went 4 for 4 against the Pirates, hit 3 home runs, hit 1 completely out of the park.
Wow. And
he retired after that. He was terrible that year. I think his average was like 181. But anyway, there's this picture of Babe Ruth. I'm like, about that, like about the uniform you're wearing right now. So I do some more research into this. So as I'm going through this book, I'm realizing that the Boston Braves had what I would consider a little bit of a uniform issue in the years immediately prior to, and then including Babe Ruth. So here we go. We'll start the story in 1929, when not all teams in the major leagues had numbers in the back of their jerseys. In fact, the Boston Braves did not. So they decided it would be a good idea to put this Brave head logo smack dab in the back of their jerseys. Maybe it didn't look as bad to 1929 eyes as it looks to my 2020 eyes, but I'm thinking like it would look so much better if there was just nothing there. Further evidenced by the fact that I don't think anyone else, to my knowledge, in the major leagues were doing this at the time. The Detroit Tigers might have done it like 2 years prior. I think there was one other team. But anyway, this was not a thing. So there's that. But to really get the full effect, I think you have to look at the front of these. And yeah, so the word Braves takes you a second to realize like what that's saying here, because right smack dab between the A and the V right in the middle of the word is, again, this Brave head logo, right?
Braves.
Exactly. So apart from the fact, by the way, this would never fly today, like having this on the back of your uniform, like super, I don't know what the word is, stereotypical, like not, can't think of the word, but would not fly, right?
It's problematic.
Yeah. But apart from that, even if it was something like, some completely non-controversial logo, it's just not good in the back of the jersey. But right in the middle of the word, like the complete opposite of a sports fan, I think would look at this jersey and say, wow, that is interpretively very bad. Interpretation, non-formal education, informal education, you could say, which is really based in communication, which is communication, really. Communication! Which is based in psychology. This is awful because it takes your brain a second to realize what's going on here. And one fundamental truth of psychology, of communication is you wanted to make it as easy as possible on the person you're trying to communicate with, your message. And this is not very clear, right? It takes you, even if it's kind of subconsciously, it takes your brain a second to realize, oh wait, that says Braves. Because there's this logo right in the middle of the word. Like there's a reason we don't break up words here. Also in 1930, they add this patch to the sleeves, which appears to be a pilgrim hat.
I was noticing that.
Okay. So my first thought here is, a pilgrim hat? You're the Boston Braves, not the Boston Pilgrims. I mean, I get there's an association there with like the first Thanksgiving, but I mean, like the Rays don't have a starfish on their jerseys. Like the Blue Jays don't have a crow. I get there's an association, but what's the deal? So I actually looked this up, and after reading the story, I'm like, oh, okay. 1930 was the tricentennial of Boston, and they put that patch on their jerseys to celebrate Boston's tricentennial.
Might I say,
yes,
while we're looking at this, I like the color scheme and everything of this.
Yes.
I think if it didn't have the insensitive logo and the terrible logo placement, I think this would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
So this is when they put the numbers in the back of their jersey. Inexplicably, as if you can't make this any worse, moved the Arc Braves, which I think is in a pretty good placement here, up the jersey. So now it's like right, under their like jugular. I'm like, again, why?
Still with the logo in the middle.
Yep, insensitive logo in the middle, and moved to the sleeve now because the number is on the back of the jersey at this point.
Yep.
Okay, so here is the Babe Ruth season. So here's Babe Ruth, but now I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, wait, look at this V compared to this V. It looks like they've tightened it up a little bit. Okay, so now it appears that the jersey says "bra yes." Okay, which is a problem. Okay, that's a problem. It conjures like two images in my mind. One, that like all the players are, you know, wearing something under their uniform that just doesn't seem to check out, which is just a hilarious image.
Oh, you got me. Well, at least it's underwire.
Number two is that maybe this is like a shout out to these like party bro like surfer dudes in Boston at the time. Like, dude, you want to have a rager tonight and then go surfing tomorrow? Brah, yes, man.
Oh, yes, brah. Brah.
all those surfer dudes in Boston.
All those crazy
1935.
1930s Boston surfers.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Be in a city where you can have a surf session and then go to a city council meeting within the span of an hour. I think that just shows that the American dream is still very much alive.
So yeah, I see that as a interpretive error on the part of the Boston.
You don't say.
Boston Braves. Okay.
The Boston bra, yes.
The Boston Bra, yes.
That was awesome!
That's what I'm sure drew him to play for the Boston Braves in his final season in the major leagues.
Bra.
Luckily, after this, they did away with this. I think maybe even the very next season. Fun baseball history lesson.
Yeah.
Pirates, I'm not a huge fan of the gray and the yellow, especially the shade of yellow that it looks.
If they did, the yellow was like super neon. And also it was gray instead of black. They just do black.
Right.
And it would have looked so much better.
Right.
Also, reverse the colors on the hat. The yellow like main hat portion with the black bill. Mm-hmm. I think you need to swap that.
Okay. I do like that logo.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
I do like that cartoon pirate head logo.
Yeah. I do like that hat too, because it reminds me of what they wore in like the early 70s with like Clementi's, like the 71 World Series.
Yeah, like the pillbox.
Before the pillbox, when they just had like the mustard kind of ugly shaded yellow with the black bill. I actually enjoy those.
Yeah. That is fair. I agree. Maybe with this shade of yellow though, something about it I don't like as much. But
yeah, I feel like I would have liked those uniforms that much more if it was like their current gold and not the gold they used during that era randomly, because before and after that era they had the normal gold. And it was like they had that weird, it wasn't quite Vegas gold, it was like this like mustard weird thing going on, like Dijon mustard. The other one, you can cut this out, the other one that was like my runner-up was the Detroit Tigers in 2007, wore a throwback to similar times, and it had this blue thing going around the collar, and then down the like where the button-up was, and it said Detroit, but the T in Detroit was a different color. So it did Detroit in red, but because the T was in the blue, it was white. Yeah. And again, it was a similar thing. I was like, what's going on?
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
That one's
I remember that game, I think, going on, like when it happened. I was like, what are the uniforms?